Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I am so happy to be back with you and Pink and Maine live tonight, making a really fun circle-shaped card, and we're going winter theme. I saw at the end of our live on Tuesday that Melissa had shouted out. We talked about using some of the Marshmallow Snowmen from Pink and Maine over the winter. We talked about it in the fall, I think, and then I completely forgot. So I have some really sweet marshmallow snowmen, and I will tell you there were 2 years of Simon Says Stamptember Pink and Maine collab releases that had those marshmallow snowmen. Um, but Pink and Maine also stocks all the time. It's there. I checked today to make sure. Stocks it's called Hello Winter. It's linked in the description. So if you saw those snowmen on Simon Says Stamp and you missed out in September, you can always get the regular stocked one, and that's what we're using. So I didn't want to use anything that was not retired, but not available to you guys. So we're going to play with those today. I do see lots of people checking in already. So I see Virginia, Lori, Annette, Susan, Maria, Mary, and Kim. I'm glad Virginia is back. She had some power issues last week or earlier in the week. So I am glad to see you. I know there's people here in Delaware, lots of people that still don't have power tonight. So I know it's been rough all up and down the East Coast. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm really excited. I have some ink, some glitter, some pattern paper, some dies. So we're gonna have a good time making a fun shaped card. We haven't really done that yet. I know we made the snow globe tag. I can't remember if we made it a card or not. So I thought it would be fun to change it up a little bit. So let me bring this back overhead. So this is the Hello Winter stamp set. This is what we're going to be using. So you get the little snowman, marshmallow snowman with the coffee, ice skating, like he's a little s'mores. That's the one we're going to be using tonight. And then Santa. But I love that this can be Christmas or it can be general winter. And all of the sentiments are very generic winter. So it's one of those good ones that's good to just have in your stash. And then this is a little s'mores snowman that we're going to be working on. He's so sweet. So I normally do a side folding card, but I have an 8.5. Is that right? That's not right. Yeah, I have it backwards. I have an 11 by 4.25. That's right. 11 by 4.25 paper that we're going to score this way down the middle to fold for a top folding card to make our circle card. I grabbed my You're a Blessing paper pad that we used a little bit last week, and I have pulled out the Tone on Tone purple polka dot, so we're going to use that as an accent. We have our circle dies. Those are going to be pretty important, and then we'll get to the glitter and ink and stuff as we go, because I feel like that's enough to talk about to begin with. So I've had a piece of ice rink cardstock, and before I started, it looked like this. I don't know what I did with this section. I must have just cut out a square, but this was all attached. So I just trimmed it down. So we're going to use this as our matte layer, or you'll see. But let's start out by scoring our actual card. How about that? Get my scoreboard out. And we're going to score this at 5.5. Perfect. Get that folded over. So now we're still working with an A2 dimension card, so we know no matter what, it will fit into an A2 envelope. And you can see these circles are huge. These are great if you're going to do if you do 6x6 cards, right? How big are you? Yeah, that's like 5.5. So if you're a 6x6 card maker, these would be great because it's gonna absolutely work. Or if you wanted to like cut this and you could fold it in half or cut it in half, you could do some really fun stuff with that. But we are looking for two that will fit on our card base. So I want to kind of look in this range. This is going to minimize, obviously, the size of our card, but I'm okay with that. It's a calculated decision. I'm fine with this hanging over a little. So you can see from the backside, this is barely, you guys, I don't even know if you can see, it's barely touching the edges, but I'm gonna put a piece of our cardstock, a circle piece right over top anyway, that's gonna hide the hinge. So I don't mind if the edges of our base aren't perfect. I'd rather it be slightly bigger versus the edges inside that no one's gonna see be perfect. So the trick to making this a shaped card, we have our hinge at the top, right? The fold of our card is at the top. And we're going to line up our circle side to side the best that we can. And we're going to shift this die so that there's just this tiny, tiny little space. We could probably even make it closer. At the top, that's going to be our hinge. So the more of a gap, the more air you can see between your die and the paper, the bigger and a little more sturdy your hinge is going to be. So I am going to, that piece had dog hair in it. When I hold this up, we're just going to all act like it's not there, okay? I am going to tape this in a few spots to make sure it doesn't shift. And I do want this to stay nice and sturdy. So you can see there that I am leaving a little gap. All right, I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine, leaving it folded. I have as usual, I have my physics big shot over here on the floor. Wow. That did not do what it was supposed to do. That tape was apparently not very good tape. Let's try that again. I'm still going to save this because I'm sure at some point I can cut it and use it for something. Maybe like accent it on a card or something. You never know. Let me grab another piece of cardstock. We'll do a take two. I was having a pretty good day too, so I can't even say it's just how my day's been going because my day was pretty great. All right. So we're taking our full sheet. We're doing this, cutting this long ways like a hot dog. We're going to go 4 1/4. Let's pull it out one more time. Hey, Kendra, thanks for checking in. And Connie. 5 1/2. Okay, let's do this again. And this time, I'm not going to skimp on the tape, and I'm not going to put it on my hand first. I'm just going to be careful to make sure that it stays on the outside of the cardstock. Hey, honey. It's nice to see you. Thanks for joining in. Okay, let's try this again. I think it's because I pushed my plates through to get them started, and I think that put too much pressure and it shifted. Because now it looks like we're good. We get a little smear on there. So we go in with my mono sand eraser. That just helps to clean off anything that kind of stuck. There we go. And now we have a beautiful circle card. I just thought this was fun because it kind of looked like a little snowflake or snowball. And let's see. We're going to keep the same die and we're going to cut a piece of our dot paper. That's going to fully cover and that's going to complete that circle at the top. So we won't even see that hinge from the front. And put them in my scrap bin. Now we have cardstock to make another top folding card sometime. That's fun. I never do those. So that'll help push me keep on doing new things this year. I'm curious if any of you guys have resolutions or goals or habits you're working on. How is the year going so far? I know we're only a couple weeks in, but sometimes you can start to lose motivation this time of year. My big shop, I think, has seen better days. Oh, Kendra. Kendra said her goal is to get the nerve up to go live. It was definitely very nerve-wracking for me in the beginning, so I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. But I promise it gets easier so much faster than I thought it would. You have to get to a point where you kind of just, not that you don't care, like you don't want to do a good job, but you just are you. And it's okay no matter what happens, because you're just you being a human making a card. Yeah, see, Virginia says you can do it too. So I I grabbed 2 circles smaller. And I know, let me see what are. Yeah, because he has his arms out, that's going to take up a good bit of space, right? So I know that covers up a lot of our dot. And if I had any other projects I was working on, you can always die cut like a smaller circle out of this, or like a word or something out of the middle if you know you're going to cover it up. But I know me and I'll forget that I have it. So I'm just going to leave it intact for now. And we'll go in with our liquid glue, our easy squeeze. Mary says she's feeling pretty forgiving, Kendra. It would be fun to see you do some of your sketches or even like the Pink and Main like courtyard kit to do some of those lives. I think would be so fun. Oh, honey, you're working on yourself. That's good too. Some years are for growing on the outside and some years are for growing on the inside, man. That is for sure, especially if you're grieving. We're going to ink blend this before we cut it out. So let's get that ready. I put in the description that I was going to be using the Blizzard stencil because I swear I thought I had the Blizzard stencil, But what I have is the Blizzard embossing folder. So I changed it up and it wouldn't let me change it on both platforms. So I just left it. But this is the roundabout. But if you have the Blizzard stencil, that was definitely going to be my first choice. I just thought the roundabout also kind of has that lacy snowflake kind of idea to it. So I figured I would try it, but it's not what I would have originally dug through my stash. Oh, Kendra, I do a lot of editing too. I love when people, I've never done like blooper reels, I've never saved bloopers. But like I know Kathy Zilski did a thing like when she hit a certain amount of subscribers, she like made a video just of her bloopers. I thought that was really funny. I love that idea. So I'm going in with Night Sky ink very lightly over this roundabout because this is going to show way more ink versus white. When the one I originally was going for was going to have a little more of an even balance. So I'm trying to keep that in mind because I don't want this to be purple. I want it to be a very soft pattern. I really like that. So that just gives that really soft wash and it'll still work really nicely on our circles. So we can pop that to the side. We'll take our tape in the back. Oh, Honey got in her watercolor gems and toner color cards. It sounds like you are in for some good crafting soon. Those are both great products. And I don't remember, Honey, if you were on with us last week, but we did some watercolor gems last week if you need motivation. And we did them once over the, I think back in July, we used them when they first came out. All right, let's get this circle cut. Maybe I can manage to do this without throwing all my stuff across the room. There we go. So it's still this fun kind of tone on tone, pattern on pattern, but it's not too crazy. Plus we have our snowman who's going to go in the middle. Oh, good. Hey, Judith. Thanks for checking in. Oh my gosh, Kendra, that's funny. Kendra did Craft Roulette, which is like a live challenge show that we've talked about a few times here. And she said when she, yeah, I'll put it up there. When she was on her, some of her stuff she die cut flew across the room and she had to mute because she was laughing so hard. That sounds like something I would do. And at least when you do something like Craft Roulette, you're not alone. At least you have Mary there for backup. But I agree with, I think it was Mary, right? Yeah, with Mary, that this is a very, you guys are a very forgiving and kind group. So I don't think it would be too nerve-wracking. See, I think this is good, but I'm starting to question if I want a white circle under it. And that's just too small to cut it from. Oh, I'm going to pop it up with a foam. Yeah, I think the foam will be enough. Yep. Let's go ahead and want. No, we're not going to add the phone because I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it. We made that mistake the other day, or I almost made that mistake the other day. Okay, we're going to zoom in for some coloring. We're going to color up our little snowflake. Nope, our little s'more. That one. I think I'm going to stick with cool grays for my marshmallow because I everything else is kind of cool toned and I don't want him to look yellow. Right, Kendra? That's all the foam tape I have left. I have it in my cart. I just need to figure out what other couple things I'm going to stock up on. Probably paper. There's some new paper pattern packs that just came out and some that just got restocked. So I'm thinking I might stock up on some of those. So I am adding in my shadows, leaving just a little space. We don't really need these to look shiny. I kind of want them to just look fluffier. And I think that sometimes leaving that little bit of space also kind of gives that soft and round feeling. Yeah, has anybody else seen Michelle's walkthrough when she walked through all the subscriptions and kits for January? She shared one of the new paper pads that's coming out. It's the Yearly Plaids version 2. So it's like the main one is a spring, summer, fall, and winter color palette. And this new one is like St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, Christmas, and there's one other. Oh, Valentine's Day kind of tones, like color stories. I just think that's so cute. So if you're more of a seasonal crafter, you might like the first version. And if you're more of a holiday crafter, you might like the second. And if you do both, then you might need both. I'm not an enabler or anything. Let's go R20 for the cheeky marks. A little blush, just to get that knocked out. And definitely unnecessary, but we'll do 2 oranges for the carrot. We'll do YR09 on the bottom and YR68 on the top. Oh, perfect. Kendra said she posted her courtyard kit unboxing video today. So definitely go over there after this to check that out if you haven't seen the kit yet, because it's very cute. Yeah, honey, the Copic coloring makes a huge impact, even if you just start out with a couple colors and just start practicing from there. For me, it 100% changed the trajectory of my card making and everything I was learning. So for this chocolate drip, I did the shadow under the little graham cracker and then on the left side of each of those drips with E29. And then I'm going to go in, no, I don't think that's going to be out of contrast. We're going to go in with E25. So we're going to jump up 2 because we're going to skip a third color. And we're just going to fill that in with the 25. And we can just kind of go in and layer that a little bit. We can always bring back in a little more definition with that dark one more time. Okay. For our graham cracker, let's just stay in the same family and we'll stick with the 20s. Where are you? So we'll just do E23 and E21. So I'm going to keep my darker shade to the back and the sides. And then on the bottom, we'll keep it right around the base of our snowman. And then E23, sorry, 21. To blend that out. And I guess he probably needs a purple scarf. It feels like we have to. Let's give him some dots. His coal dots. We'll go C7. And what kind of purples do I have that are going to work with this paper? I'm going to grab my text chart, standing on. We'll shift over to the purples. And we'll kind of hold this up. My V12 bit the dust, and I currently have one I'm waiting for to come in online. So I'm thinking maybe a V17 and 95. I don't know. 15 just looks way too pink. I don't know. BBO2 looks pretty good, but that looks like a very big jump. Maybe we'll go, instead of V's, we'll stick with BVs. There's an easier route there. So let's do BV08, 13, and 2. Let's see what that gets us. Don't know that I've ever tried this combination before, but what better time than now? BV08. We're going to add our darkest shade right in between those flaps of the scarf. We can, to kind of balance that out, also add a little to the top and right hand side. We'll add a shadow where the flaps would kind of cross over the scarf. And then on this side to balance that on the right, but I'm leaving that little bit of space again to kind of emphasize that roundness one more time, just like on our marshmallow. We're going to go to 13. And I'm mostly using this to make sure we have a nice transition to our lightest shade. That darker one is so small, we'll just fill in with that. And BV02. Because it has the O in the front, it's going to be a little bit more saturated, brighter color. But because it's a lower second number, it's going to be more like light pastel wise. And that is a pretty fun combo, I think. It's not exact, but I definitely think it goes. And for us, that is more than close enough. I don't think it has to be exact. All right, let's grab our coordinating dies. Let's get this centered back up for you. I did re-vinyl my desk, but I'm excited to tell you guys I also have a glass mat on the way. I had some family support come through. You guys, I think we've talked about it before. My family, multiple people in my family watch my lives here and on my own channel. And so after I said that I was thinking about one, I had some loving help come through. And so I will have one by next week. It's in the mail right now. I'm very excited about it. Let's get our little snowman cut out. How stinking cute is he with his little stick arms? So this set too, just so you know, this doesn't have coordinating dies for the sentiment, but it does have coordinating dies for the hearts and the snowflakes. So all these little extra guys you do get sentiments for. And I love when the snowflake stamps have dies because stamping just that directly isn't always an option. All right, so he's gonna go there. And we definitely have room then. See, now I'm questioning. It feels too big. Now I kind of want to mat it. Just feels like a lot of space. So this is probably going to seem really silly because it's so small. But I'm going to pull the same size die that we used and one size smaller. And hopefully this doesn't ruin anything. Let me grab some white. The right white. Yeah. I try to keep my white cardstocks together, but always best to double check. So I'm going to cut this size that we had before out with the white and one size smaller, which is going to give us the tiniest little mat, but I really do think it's going to help to separate it from that pattern on pattern. And we definitely have room because our snowman has his arms out, but he's still kind of little. And it's these little kind of in the moment tweaks and decisions that take a card from me thinking it's like okay to me really being happy with it. So until you tear it, tore it, but I think we'll be able to save it with our snowman. Let's see. Can he go up there? We sure can. But see, now we have this little white circle, and when we put that on there, it's just going to me, it just looks more finished and balanced. Maybe we'll just pop our snowman up. No, I want him flat. We'll pop up our two circles together. So we're going to liquid glue this guy on to make sure that it is nice and centered. Let's glue this guy on so I know where he needs to be so we can figure out where our sentiment's going to go underneath since he has to be in proper mistake covering placement. And then I was thinking of like warm winter blessings, but now that he's so high up, I think one of the taller, like 3-lined sentiments is going to make more sense. So we'll use the I couldn't love you s'more, since that's obviously meant to go with this little guy anyway. Oh, there's more storms coming through. That's what everybody's talking about in the comments. I saw we're supposed to get some snow next week. And my girls are all excited because it's supposed to come on Tuesday and they're off Monday, Martin Luther King Day. So they're excited at the idea of a four-day weekend. Like they didn't just have off yesterday for power outages. It's pretty straight. I think we're just gonna go with black. That's fine. Nice and legible. That's with our asphalt ink. That's my guys. I still have not. That should be my New Year's resolution is to wash this microfiber towel. It's so bad. I'm not even going to tuck it back in. I'm going to leave it on the side so I remember to throw it in the washing machine. The washing machine is literally right on the other side of this wall. So that's going to happen. All right, so we need to make sure we know where the top of our card is. And sorry, one more thing. I wanted to add glitter to this, and I think it will work better if I glitter it first so it's easier to tip it over. So when it was the snowflake one, I was going to glitter the snowflakes, but now that it's this roundabout, I think I'm going to add glitter in the center of these, almost like little flowers. I don't love that there's none over here. Maybe we'll just make one up. Who's going to stop me? Nobody. And then he can get a little like frosty too. And then I grabbed the Stardust Chunky Glitter. We're just going to make that, like, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just kind of wipe any extra away. This one just has to have some more on this side. The 3 and then 2 is just really bothering me. We're just going to make it up and pretend that there's one there. Here we go. So now the background has some sparkle. He's got some sparkle. I don't want it to cover up his little cheeky though. There we go. I just think it's cute. Again, if you had the Blizzard stencil or you wanted to do the Blizzard emboss paper instead, I think that would still be my preference. But I have the folder. I just didn't want to worry about stamping and cutting out sentiment. This is supposed to be foam tape. Oh no, honey's in Alaska and it's 13 but feels like 1. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. I was definitely not made for that kind of weather. I also don't like the heat, so I understand that I'm a picky person. Okay, well, for future reference, that squished my wet glue glitter all over my desk. Nothing is ruined, nothing got messed up, but there's glitter on my desk now. So if you're going to recreate this, maybe let that dry a little longer. That's my motto here. I just make mistakes so that you don't have to. Okay, Let's check this one more time. Make sure this is nice and straight at the top. There we go. It's a little off. I really don't mind it. So that is our super cute little circle card. I couldn't love you s'more. So sweet. Oh my goodness. I think Kendra's saying she had tornadoes near her. That's terrifying. Get this glue up. I finished that and we're done now. Okay. Well, I definitely still love this card. I think he's cute. If you have different shaped dies, it's definitely fun to try out making a shaped card. Just change it up, try something different, and check to see what stamp sets you might have that maybe originally you got for Christmas, but that can 100% be winter cards, because we don't have to rush right into Valentine's Day if you don't want to. We have plenty of time to make some fun winter cards too. And yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out. I do want to give you a heads up that next week will be sneak peek week for the new release. So next Tuesday and Thursday, we'll be doing fun sneak peeks where I use some of the new items both times. And I'll show you a bonus sneak peek on Tuesday and a ton of bonus sneak peeks on Thursday. So that way you pretty much get to see basically the whole collection, the whole release for the most part by Thursday night. And then the new release will come out on Friday. That's the 19th. The blog will also be all sneak peeks next week. So if you want to see some previews over there, you can check that. The link's in the description here. But yeah, if there's any techniques that you guys want to see specifically, you can always leave me a comment. I have those new products to use, but the kind of card we make, or you know, foil versus shaped cards versus shaker cards, all of those things can be applied to any of those products. So let me know what you're feeling for next week. And yeah, otherwise, I hope everyone has a safe and warm as it can be weekend. Maybe get some fun in there, maybe get some card making in there. But otherwise, I will be back here next Tuesday with you guys at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And until then, happy crafting, guys. Have a good night.